Uh, Dr. Haokip, I'm going to ask you this. Do you think the sacking or resignation of the Chief Minister of Manipur, N Biren Singh, is suddenly going to, make things all right?
The sacking or changing chief ministership would be the beginning of the process of reconciliation and the peace process. But I can't say that that alone can solve everything. That's just the beginning because he has,
It
he
might
has
put
been.
balms on the feelings of the people, but does it really create that kind of effect that we want to see on the ground after about 80 days of this, dead strong violence?
Yeah, yeah, of course, changing the chief minister or sacking him would definitely change the mentality or change the kind of perception of the people because it's going to change everything because he has been organizing his own militia like the Arambai Kengol and Mete Dukun, and he has been controlling all this law and order situation in his favor. So if it is sacked, then I think definitely something would change, immediately, and people in right thinking people even in Imphal Valley would speak out what they have been prevented so far, and that kind of reconciliation started. But definitely, I would say that that would not solve everything. And since this conflict is political, political negotiations with the civil society organizations, the insurgent groups of the Kukis and other groups has to be started, initiated, and that would be the only lasting solution. Definitely, changing the chief minister or sacking him would definitely change the political situation there in Manipur.
Well, absolutely, Dr. Haokip. I personally feel that, removing the chief minister is not going to be the end of the road, certainly. Major General Meston, do stay on with us. I think Mr. Kipgen wants to come in. I'm going to give him a quick fair share here. Mr. Kipgen, do come in. Do you want to echo on what Dr. Haokip here is talking about? I did end up asking the right question now, didn't I? But I still
Yes,
personally
yes,
feel
yes.
that, that's not going to be the end of the road, Mr. Kipgen.
Thank you, thank you. No, my point is to add on to what Dr. Haokip has said. It is not just about changing the chief minister or the leader there. It is about finding out what role he has in this violence. It is about putting him on trial. In fact, we need to also see if he is really as innocent as he is, and it is just a lapse of his governance. The lack of leadership. It's a different thing. But the way we see it here across all communities, the one common tone is that Chief Minister N Biren Singh has to be removed from his authority. Now, this is coming from the Naga community represented by the Manipur, outer Manipur Lok Sabha member of parliament, and also from the Metis community also. They want him removed, but and same from our community as well. But he still hangs on. Now, it is not just about changing him; it is about also investigating his role in this present violence in the state. So that is the way how justice will ultimately prevail, and how perpetrators of these incidents, be it from whichever community or whichever high-ranking position he is before the law, everyone should be put on properly investigated upon, and those players who are really responsible, those perpetrators who are really responsible, things should come out in the open, and they should be booked. So that is what I wanted to add on. It is not just about changing him, which is going to be a solution for us. No, that's not the part of it.
Right.
But there are so many accusations on him. So the government also needs to see if any of these accusations on his leadership is holds true, and if he should be brought to task.
Well, absolutely. Major General, questions asked there on the Chief Minister, and this is not the first time the Chief Minister has been under fire from day one. But looking at the Army's involvement, again, taking a look at how the defense establishment is working there, are you worried about, these separate pushes for different administrations, one happening in Mizoram, one happening in Assam? Assam's got a tit for tat push. The same happened in Tripura. The Tripura Motha party, its own conception was based on the fact that we're the indigenous people, we need separate administration ourselves. You've been a military man for the longest time. You've served in Manipur. What's your viewpoint on that, sir?
Yeah, my viewpoint is very clear. that whatever has happened, this is going to have ramifications for the entire Northeast. I am very, very clear on that. Secondly, we are only not talking about blaming the armed forces, etc. Sorry, the Assam Rifles, which is not in order. It will lower the impact on the morale of the armed forces. The blame totally is on the police. That is the second point. The third point is now what is going to happen in the neighboring states in the northeast. It is also going to have serious ramifications on terms of security. See, on the first day itself, this question has emerged, sacking of the chief minister.
Right.
I think the first or the second day was the most critical. That was the time there was a demand from people, and many panelists stated that president's rules should have been imposed. Now, that was not imposed. And therefore, what has happened? Finally, who suffered? Whether it is people of this ethnicity or the other ethnicity, it is the common man who has suffered. No one else. All the people in power continue. This is the whole issue. They are just there wherever they are. The common man has suffered, and that is why today I am hearing now from the panelists, the people from both ethnicities are probably demanding his resignation because it's a failure. See, at the end of the day, the neighbors are going to be existing together, and they have realized someone has exploited them for their own requirements, and today they have paid the price. Who suffered? Their children, their families. The women have been burned.
Major General, is it still is it still late to impose president's rule?
Yeah, I think we should do it even now because the change of administration will bring about a big relief to the people of Manipur.
And from a national security point of view, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? From the national security point of view, and this has been discussed n number of times on the same channel, and most of the panelists, including people who are from those areas, from both the communities, they were also stating that this needs to be imposed. And the last point is, this conflict should have never even arisen. See, I'll give you a very good example. Bodoland Territorial Council was evolved. Today, what is happening in that area? That is peaceful. The Sioux operations were planned by the Indian Army with the final focus that once they, do the ceasefire and they are not indulging. And in the last so many years, we have not actually heard about any incidents in the hill area. I was there in 1982. There was a huge ambush en route to Krul, where 21 Jawans of the Indian Army, including one officer, were killed. This is not happening in the hill areas. All the happenings have been in the valley, including the killing of a colonel just I think 2 years back with his family. So what I'm trying to say is the intent of the Indian Army was with the Sioux being implemented. Now the next step was, which was under consideration since last so many years by the government of India, to impose the autonomous hill council for the hill areas. And that was actually going to be implemented. I was quite sure that this year it would have been announced. But there lies the problem that the people in power there, the local power, they felt that it has got two implications. One is the financial implications, and the second is governance issue. Both would have gone out of their hand. And this is where you incite people, and therefore now people got incited. And today the same people are now realizing that they have been used, abused, and the end result is they have suffered. Their houses destroyed, their everything is destroyed. And it has got security ramifications.
Seems
the armed forces people today, we have people from in the Naga regiment, the Assam regiment, Kumaon regiment. They are from these sensitive areas. Imagine if they are serving in Siachen Glacier, how bad they would be feeling that their homes are being burnt, their neighbors, their people are being burnt. What kind of this thing?
No,
people are not in.
Very right in pointing that out, Major General. From what you've said, it sounds to me like this is a situation of too many cooks spoiling the broth when there is no broth there to spoil, and about misplaced priorities as well.